Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of In Distress, a podcast where I talk about nonsense in the comfort of my childhood bedroom. I'm sorry if I sound dejected. I've been recording for 20 minutes and I haven't been able to complete. It's like I'm not proud of what I'm saying. I'm not feeling it. I don't know. I'm regretting the things that I'm saying. So this is going to be the final take. Okay. Yeah. Anyways, first order of business. The pot and paint last week, these are the results. If you're watching the video version, you're getting exclusive content, but this is her. I need to work on my transitioning of colors here, but all in all, I think she's really cute, and I'm honestly really proud of my work. Painting is one of those hobbies that has been left in the back of my mind for a very long time. I have a bunch of paint. I have paintbrushes. I have the supplies. I just never really do it because I'm focusing on other things or I'm playing video games, and I'm really just trying to stay off my phone this year a little bit more. And so far, we're only 13 days in. It's been a very trying 13 so far, but I've been really trying with that goal. And I've been using my phone less. I've been on TikTok less. Like, I still make TikToks and I go on there and do the stuff, and those numbers, I feel like I'm in like jail on TikTok, honestly. Like, I post videos and then it's like they're just stuck a lot of times on getting 200 to 300 views, and unless I'm talking about something that's really groundbreaking, it's really hard to get in there on the algorithm. But I'm gonna keep pushing forward, keep moving forward, queen. Anyways, yeah, but this has been a pretty rough 13 days of the year. Already this episode is late. Yeah, it's 11:58 on Saturday. I was going to record it on Thursday so that it was going to be up on time on Friday, at least the audio version, because the video version is always going to be a little bit later than the audio version. But I went out with my friends and got distracted, and I just didn't do it. And also, I just didn't have anything to talk about really. And the last thing that I want to do is put out something just because I needed to, not because it was good. Like, I'd rather it be late and I'm proud of my work than for it to be on time and I'm not proud of it. And then I don't want to do the promo because I already don't like promoting the things that I do anyways. I don't like being on the internet and showing people the things that I'm doing. But literally the only way to grow is for me to put the stuff out on the internet. So anyways, but I just want to be proud of the stuff that I'm promoting at least. So yeah, I've been spending less time on TikTok. I actually haven't really been in the comments of anything. I've been trying my best not to look at whether people are liking them or not, and just kind of just go on there and watch a couple TikToks and leave, and really just trying to stay off there and stay off of YouTube Studios as well. But we did get good views last week. We did. I actually promoted it on my main account, which was embarrassing, but I did it. But yeah, this has been a very interesting beginning of the year for me. Anything can happen in a year is the motto, and I'm already feeling like I'm being tested and I'm growing and all of the things. Now it's just about what I do with the things that I've learned and whether or not I implement those in the future. But yeah, that's what we're working with. Last week was a very emotional week, very vulnerable for me. But again, that's like the point of the podcast. I want people to feel like, they understand that other people are going through hard things in their life. They're just different things. But we're all struggling out here. I personally am struggling financially. I am, and it's just, wow. Like, it's like you go and you get the job, you go to college and you do the things that they say do, and then you just try to make ends meet after that. It's rough out here, but it's okay. Anywho, why the episode is late. First of all, it was my friend Kenzie's birthday on Thursday. Happy birthday to Kenzie. Shout out to her, the big 23. We went out on Friday, and I was like, I should record Thursday, but I didn't because I didn't have anything to say, and I was also emotionally in distress. And then Friday came around, and I went and I drove to go see my friends, and we hung out and everything. And then today is Saturday, and I was going to record it right when I came home, but I wasn't feeling too great and I was feeling a little nauseous. So I was like, I'm just going to go to sleep. And the crazy thing is that I didn't even drink a lot, because the last time, if you don't know, longtime listeners of the podcast, you know about the Don Julio episode, and that was such a trying night for me. I was like, the goal this year, not even this year, the goal tonight is just to make it out of the house. Like, if I just make it out of the house, I'm gonna be okay. So I did like one shot, and then we left, and I just don't think that I enjoy going out. I've never really been a girly who likes to party, and I think that in my head I want to be, because I want to be fun, I want to have fun with my friends, but I don't really enjoy going out. Like, I have to be at like just the right place of drunk to enjoy the night out. And when I don't get there, I don't really have a good time. And so, yeah. And then I had those feelings. I shared those feelings with one of my friends. And I was like, I just feel like a loser because I don't like going out. And like, I feel like a loser because, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna explain exactly why. Because it's like, sometimes there are things that like people do for attention, right? And so some of the things opinions I have, they're not necessarily for attention, but because other people say that it's for attention to have those opinions, I feel guilt and I feel shame for having those opinions. So yeah, there's that. So then when people are like, well, people who don't like to go out and like to stay home or whatever and don't like to do this, that, or the third, they're boring and they're just looking for attention because blah, 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 blah. And if you don't like doing this, then you're looking for attention and blah, 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 blah. I will say that sometimes people do stuff like that for attention. People do go and share their opinions about certain things, like Beyonce or Taylor Swift or whoever is a big celebrity or whatever. And they say that they don't like that person because of XYZ. And sometimes, yeah, that is for attention. And so what? Like, maybe somebody just wants attention. What's wrong with that? Like, really, like when you kind of sit here and like pick apart the things that like society says or perceives to be a certain way, it's kind of like, girl, why do you care what I have going on? Like, stay over there, first of all. We're going to get more into that in a second. But yeah. And so when I say like I don't like going out, I feel like a party pooper. I feel like a loser. I feel like I'm only saying that for attention, but I'm not. And I know that I'm not doing that for attention. I just genuinely, honestly, I don't enjoy spending my money at this point in time because I don't have a lot of it, because I'm over here pinching pennies. I'm not like living paycheck to paycheck necessarily, but I definitely am. I have to go and buy like gas 2 times a week because I live far away from my job. And I barely get paid enough money. First of all, I don't get paid enough money for somebody who just graduated college. I'll be honest. I don't get paid enough money. And then there's the whole thing of like, okay, I said the gas thing. And then it's like, okay, well, sometimes my mom doesn't cook. I don't cook. Sometimes if I don't feel like it, I'm not going to cook. So then I don't have anything to eat. So now I have to go and eat out. And when I'm eating out, this food, the inflation, girl, the prices are up. You can barely afford to eat out good for a long period of time. And then on top of that, it's like I have these loans, and every time I get paid, I take the money out. And then, my friends, they want to go on trips, and that's really great because we should do that. We should go and enjoy our lives and live it. I don't necessarily have the funds to be like going out. And it's like, but then if I don't go out, then I feel wrong about it, and I feel bad about it, and I feel guilty about it. And also like, I care about my friends and I love my friends, and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to go out there and celebrate with you guys. Like, why would I not do that? But I'm not going to lie. If I'm not drunk, I'm not enjoying the experience. I'll be really honest. But I didn't want to get too drunk because of what happened the last time. And then it's also just like, I'm a very like, when I'm thinking about money, I'm very financially conscious because my parents have taught me to be that way. They're like, don't end up in debt. Make sure you pay for your stuff. Make sure you have money. Like, you have like, not rainy day money, but make sure you're like taking care of your money and you're spending your money and you're being responsible with it. So naturally, me growing up like, oh, I need to be responsible with my money, I'm thinking about exactly where my money's going. And honestly, when I think about it, I don't want my money to be going to alcohol. I'm sorry. I don't want my money to be going to the club. I'm sorry. Like, I know it's a good time and everything, but I'd rather be having a good time at the house alone, free. It's really hard for me sometimes to make like financial decisions based on fun. There are a lot of times when I'm like, okay, well, I should go and do this, treat myself. I deserve it. And I'm going to be honest. I deserve a lot of things. I do. I think that I do. But it's like, there are moments when I do deserve stuff, but there are also moments when it's not even that I don't deserve it. You just don't have enough money to be doing that. You don't have enough money to be participating in that. And that's really how it's been. It is like, yeah, I deserve to have a good time, but at the same time, you're an adult and you understand that you have certain financial obligations and responsibilities, and you need to be thinking about that over you deserving having fun. And I think that that's really the thing about being an adult. That's really what the problem is with being an adult. It's like you have to be, okay, well, you need to be thinking about your finances because you have responsibilities and obligations. Yes, you've worked hard and you deserve XYZ, but the world is still the world. The economy is still the economy. Nobody's giving free handouts. There's no free lunch. So you really need to decide what you're going to do, and whatever you do, you're going to receive consequences for that. And it's really just that. Being an adult is really just balancing those two things of like, I have worked hard and I deserve to be where I'm at in my life and I deserve to treat myself. But also, while I deserve to treat myself, the world is hard and we're not all rich and famous and we're not all sharing wealth. So until that day comes, which it probably never will, sometimes you have to eat that L and be like, I can't go out or I shouldn't be doing that. And I'm really big on, which is something I need to work on again, not giving myself grace, but also like once I've made a decision, like beating myself up the entire time from not making the other decision. So going out with my friends, I'm like, this was the right thing for me to do. I wanted to do this. I want to be here. But also the other half of my brain is like, God, why did you do this? You know that you need to be paying for this, and you know you need to do that, you know you need to do this. And now you're going to have to shell out money because you decided to come out tonight. And I'm thinking about, it's hard for me to just think about the pros. That's what it is. It's hard for me to just think about the pros. And that's what I've been struggling with lately. Sorry, I definitely moved away from the mic. My bad. Don't know if the audio was bad, but I can't have the headphones on no more with the video. Sometimes I watch the video back and I'm like, I look bald. And like, there's nothing wrong with looking bald. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just that I'm trying to, I'm trying to get my confidence up. I'm trying to give like, pretty girl. And it's hard for me to believe that and think that when I got those clunky headphones on my head. Anyways, that's besides the point. This week, what are we going to discuss? That's what you're thinking. This week, we're talking about celebrities. I grew up yapping about celebrities and pop culture. Like, when I'm famous, which I will be, so not too much. When I hit my fame and fortune era, like, I want the girls to talk about me. I do. And yeah, good or bad. Good or bad, I want the girls talking about me, and that's just on PR. That's on marketing, okay? If there's one thing I took out of those marketing classes that I took but can't say that I'm a marketing major of, okay? If there's one thing I learned in those college classes that I'm in debt for, it's that all publicity is good publicity, okay? And it is up to the person or the people or the entity who's getting that press to navigate where it's going. And this is actually very perfect because it's about to lead into this segue of what we're talking about this week. And the first topic is Miss Ariana Grande. Boom. First of all, I grew up watching or listening to celebrity news. So obviously E.T., that's a big one, Entertainment Tonight. And then I grew up watching gossip channels. I grew up watching gossip channels on YouTube, and I grew up reading magazines like the Tiger Beat, the Bop magazine, the J14s. I grew up with all the stuff, and I'm just nosy as hell personally. And so, I also grew up at the time when Disney Channel was up. They had Demi Lovato, Miley Cyrus, Selena Gomez, the Jonas Brothers. They had all that mess going on behind scenes. And I was right there in the magazines to clock it, okay? And I just thought that was a really great time to be a teenager. I feel like also at that time when I was a teenager, there were things for teens, because I am going to discuss this, yeah. There were things for teens. Now, the way that the world is moving, there's being a kid, being a 5 or 6-year-old kid, and then there's being a teen, and there's being 18 and being an adult. there's not a lot of stuff that's for kids. There aren't a lot of like artists who are making music for kids. Not a lot of like, there's not a lot of teen celebs like there used to be, really. People kind of like look at the people who are in their like early 20s, mid 20s, late 20s, and those are the people who are popular, and who there hasn't really been like a big celebrity who's like 14 and been able to like keep that fame, that level of fame and stardom throughout their career. There haven't been a lot of those people lately. And so this kind of goes with the whole conversation that people have been having about Sephora, I think, or Ulta, one of the makeup brands. I don't wear makeup, so I really don't know which one. But a lot of people have been talking about the whole drunk elephant, I think it is. People have been talking about little girls going to Ulta and Sephora and places like that, and they're trying to get the stuff that the adults are using. And in my mind, I'm like, yeah, obviously, because that's what they're seeing on the internet. Like, there's nothing for teens. And like, that's what people have been talking about a lot, is that there's not really a lot of things that are for teenagers anymore. There's not like a big market of like, there's not like a bunch of TV shows that are for teens, as far as I know. I don't know though, because I'm not a teenager, but it's still like, and even like I work with kids who are like in middle school and stuff. Yeah, who are in middle school. Yeah, I work with kids who are like that age, and it's a lot of them singing Pound Town, Thuggin' With My Rounds. And it's a lot of them listening to rap music and stuff like that. And again, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with rap or hip hop. I first of all want to say that. But it's also like that stuff that they're talking about is not for kids. Like, it's not. And it's especially not for kids who are growing up in like the projects area, or in lower income areas, because they're seeing drugs, they're seeing gangs. Sometimes a lot of them are seeing that. They're seeing their like uncles and aunts go to jail for stuff like that, for guns and everything. And I don't think that it's helpful to be surrounded by that in all aspects of your life. I don't think that that's healthy. It's not how I grew up. It's not how a lot of people grew up. There's definitely a way to get out of that. There are ways to get out of that, to get out of feeling like you need to continue on that path of living in lower income areas, or getting out of the cycle of like violence, whether that's like drugs or whether that's gang affiliation or something like that. There are ways to get out of that, but I think you have to be experiencing and being exposed to a lot more of things that aren't that, than being surrounded by that 100% of the time. And I don't think growing up in that environment, and then also listening to music and seeing TV shows and media and content that surrounds and centers that, and then makes it out to be a good thing, is helpful to do that. It also doesn't help that the education system is failing kids. That's a whole separate spiel that I could go off on another day, at another time. But I don't think that either of those things are helpful for what, like, the people who care about children, who care about the future. That's not helpful for anybody who's trying to make a positive impact on kids. But yeah, enough about that. Anywho, Miss Grande, I don't even remember what I was talking about before then. That's what's crazy. Anyways, but today we're going to be talking about there's not stuff for teens. But yes, it's like you go when you're a kid and you're watching Coco Melon, and then you move on to adult things. There's not a lot of in between. And I think that parents, especially right now, it shouldn't be so hard to find stuff for kids, but I think that you really have to buckle down on kids right now and be like, you're just a teenager, you're 12, you're 13. We need to be doing age appropriate things. I think that that's definitely a point where parents are lacking right now, is the fact that they're not making their kids do age appropriate things and participate in age appropriate activities. So yeah, anywho, enough about that. I could talk about that forever, but Ariana Grande. We will be talking about, because like I said, I'm a pop culture girl and this is how I grew up, and we are yapping about them today. And then maybe we'll yap about me later. I don't know. We'll see. But Miss Grande has a new song out, Yes and yes and sorry. Anyways, Miss Grande has been catching some hot fire. She's been in hot water for a couple months now. So if you don't know, I'll give you the quick rundown. Ariana Grande, big name. You probably heard some hits from her. Thank You Next era was really big for her. I personally have been a fan since she was on Nickelodeon with Put Your Hearts Up, and we've been running. Me and old girl been running in the streets ever since. So she has been in hot water lately because she's been taking a break from doing music, because she's been acting a little bit more, and she's actually going to be in the film version of a Broadway play, Wicked. I think that's how you would say that. And while filming Wicked, apparently began dating a co-star at the time. And this is all speculation, all allegations, but they are dating. They are together, I believe. That has been confirmed. But Miss Grande was married at one point, and then she was separated from her husband, and then I think they are getting a divorce, or they got a divorce, one of the two. But the guy, Ethan, I think his name is Slater. He played SpongeBob on Broadway, and they started dating, apparently, and he had a wife and a child at home. And Miss Girl has been receiving a lot of flack for that, because, like, that sounds really bad. It does. It sounds very bad. Very, very bad. And I am not going to excuse those actions. However, I also don't have all of the facts. Nobody has all the facts on that. And so her new song, Yes and, is kind of a commentary of sorts on that. Yes, that's what I'll say. It's a commentary on that thought, on the idea, and on the fact that we don't know these celebrities' lives. We don't know what they're going through. We only have tidbits and speculation. And that's kind of basically what she was saying. In this song, to me, as a listener, as a longtime Ariana Grande fan, I believe she is saying, and the way that the song, like the lyrics are portrayed, it's like yes and, like, in terms of like, the song is like, it's like, imagine I wrote the words yes, comma, and question mark, right? It's kind of like somebody asked you, like, oh, did you really steal from Target? Yes, and what about it? Like, that's what the song has been to me. It's been like, yeah, maybe I did do that. So what? Like, I'm not, like, it's very much, I'm not going to apologize for my actions. I'm not going to apologize for them, but it's giving, I don't have to explain my actions to people. And what Miss Girl has been receiving so much flack for is the man that she was dating. Like I said, it has been speculated that he was still with his wife, and his wife came out and has spoken about it. Ex-wife, whatever it was, has come out and been like, yeah, we were together, and then he left me and the child. And if you're looking at just those pieces, it looks very bad. And so she has been receiving homewrecker allegations. And it's been a lot of people just, a lot of people have been saying they look at her differently. I was just on TikTok before I started recording, and one TikToker had this take, and she was kind of talking about how a lot of celebrities don't really think about the fact that your fan base is growing and getting older and maturing the same way that you are. Everybody is, And I think a lot of her distaste for Ariana Grande, and a lot of people's distaste for her, is the lyrics in her song. She was kind of like, I don't care. Well, I don't know why you care whose dick I'm riding now. I'm sorry. It's not funny. It's just, that was just, anyways. But yeah, and it's a lot of like, she's kind of in the song saying, I don't care what people think of me. I don't care what people's opinions of me are. Like, I can still make great music, and whatever you say about me isn't really going to affect me. And a lot of people are taking that as she's not holding herself accountable. She's not being responsible for her actions. And and really what that TikToker was saying, that, a lot of her fan base were maybe her age or younger or older or whatever when she first came out with music. And, you hear about that story about alleged home wrecking. And if you are older now and you have a family and you have a kid, or maybe that same thing has happened to you, somebody's left you for somebody else, you wouldn't really appreciate somebody going and saying, okay, I don't care. That's a very valid point. That's a very valid viewpoint. Like, and I would never take that away from anybody. Like, that's very valid to feel that way. Whether I agree with how somebody feels or not, it's valid regardless. But I can definitely understand why people feel that way and why she brought that up. And I think it's a really great point. But I think one of the things that she said was kind of, she feels like, and other people in the comments also said, they feel like she's making fun of the situation and talking shit on to people. And I thought that was a really interesting way to think of that. I genuinely, like I just said, I genuinely don't think that she released this song with malicious intent. I don't think that she wrote this song. I don't think that she produced it with malicious intent. But because I think that this is just one of those moments where, yes, the public doesn't have the full story and we don't know, but like what we know and what we've been able to piece together, it looks really bad. Like, it doesn't look great for her. Like, if you're Ariana Grande, this situation doesn't look very good for you in the public eye. And at the same time that it doesn't look great, I think that this song is also just really about, like, hey, as a human, I don't really care what other people are thinking of me. And whether that's true every single day or not, I know for me personally, I like to think that I don't care what people think of me. But there are some days where it still does get to me a little bit. I don't think that she recorded this song with malicious intent. Genuinely. I don't. I think that this is her way of speaking out about it. And this is her way of saying, I don't really care what anybody else thinks of my decisions or my actions. I did them. And so what now? Like, because when you're sitting there and claiming those things, claiming your actions, claiming your decisions, and saying, I don't care what other people think, you're kind of taking the power back in a sense. And maybe it doesn't look that way to us because we're the consumers. But for her, this is probably something that she needed to say. Like, and again, even more so on the point, people have talked about Ariana Grande for years. They've talked about the people that she's dating. They've had stuff to say about the way that she looks, the way that she presents herself, the way that she speaks, the way that she sings, the genre of music that she releases. People have always had things to say about her. People have always had things to say about her dating life, her relationship life, her life choices, anything. And so for me, it's kind of crazy that this is more like the biggest thing, like the biggest allegations, like the biggest thing that she's facing right now is that, like, people speculating and believing that she's a homewrecker. When you really think about that, that's kind of crazy. But regardless, I think that her video and this song are a direct response to the feedback that has followed the release of this song. It's literally like, yes, I did that. So what? So it's literally like, it's almost like this response was anticipated a bit. Like, people were going to hate on her for releasing music no matter what it was about, no matter what she said in the song, whether it was something as direct as this song or whether it was something indirect or she didn't mention it at all, people were going to have something to say. People were going to say, Ariana she's not even talking about what she just did. She's not even thinking about that family and what she did and blah, 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 blah. what I think is really crazy about this situation is the fact that a lot of the blame is being put on her, but that wasn't her relationship. You can tempt, and this is the thing. This is like that misogynoir, okay? This is kind of like that aspect of misogyny that exists in society that we don't really discuss far enough. Like, at the end of the day, you can seduce anybody, like as a woman, as a man, whatever. You can seduce people. You don't make them act on it. Like, this was always 100% his decision. This was always 100%. And whether or not, we're not really going to get into the semantics of whether or not it's right to tempt somebody or seduce them or whatever. And I'm by no means saying that this is what she did. I'm just looking at this like from a, like, imagine this is somebody else and you're just an innocent bystander who has seen or watched this go down. At the end of the day, nobody makes you do that but you. Like, you decide that. And I kind of, what I don't like about the situation, again, have your opinions, think what you want. It's still, Ethan is still the person who decided to divorce his wife, and I don't know what he's going on with his kids. All this stuff is alleged anyways. But at the end of the day, that was his decision. She didn't make him do that. And I hate that she's the one who's getting most of the blame for that, when it's like, I didn't make him do that. I didn't make him leave whatever he left in the past. I didn't make him do that. He chose that for himself. But as a woman, you always have to take the brunt of the blame for everything. And I think that that's really the more messed up part of everything. Like, whether or not we're speculating, we're alleging a lot of things, we don't know the full story, whether or not this is like a direct jab at, whether or not this is poking fun at or talking shit on somebody, we don't know. We're just speculating. But at the end of the day, still, that girl did not make that man leave his relationship for her. That was his decision whether or not he did that. And if he chose to do that, that's on him. That may make you think less of him or her or whatever, but at the end of the day, that girl did not force him to do that. He made that decision on his own. And now she's just sitting here responding to the feedback. Like, people were on there slandering her name. People have been on the internet slandering her name. People have been having their opinions about everything. And again, as a celebrity, whether it's right or not, whether it's fair or not really up to us. If you're a celebrity and your business is out publicly, it's up to you to navigate how the public sees that. And if this is how she's choosing to navigate this, it is what it is. Like, she's saying, yeah, so what? Like, yeah, that happened. So what now? And I feel like the song and the video are direct responses to the anticipated feedback that she's getting, that people don't like what she's doing now, that people don't agree with her actions or her decisions. Like, the video is literally, okay, well, you cannot like any of those things, but I am still talented. I'm still able to make music, and I can still be on the charts with the public opinion against me. To me, that's what this song is. To me, this song is a direct response to, oh, you don't agree with my actions. I don't care. I'm living my own life. People are still going to stream my music. I hate to say it, but she kind of definitely won the I don't give a fuck war. She definitely won on this one. She did. But anyways, speaking on people, and this is so funny. This is so funny to me. And I think I had this whole thing where I was going to like talk about something, and I had like a script for how I was gonna like put the next topic in, but it didn't go that way. Anyways, what I had wrote was, I'm in no way saying her perceived actions or like the actions or decisions that we're speculating are okay, but we don't know the full story, and I think you have to be able to give people grace sometimes. And bringing up grace leads me to Miss Selena Gomez. I'm back on your neck. I don't know what to say. My sister actually asked me how I feel about her the other day. And not even the other day, it was literally earlier today. I did too much there. But my sister asked me, how do you feel about her now? And I ended up making a TikTok about this. I enjoy Selena Gomez. Like, I enjoyed Selena Gomez in the past because why would I not? She's never given us a reason to not. Like, when you really think about it, I don't really love her music like that because, like, obviously I like the stuff she did with Disney Channel and The Scene. But anything after that, I haven't really cared for. Come and Get It was good. That was a hit. She ate the fuck out of that. She did. I'll give her tens where her tens are due. I haven't seen her show on Hulu, Only Murders in This Building or something. I haven't seen that. I don't watch her cooking show really. I didn't watch her documentary. I only saw a couple of pieces of that, and that was painstakingly hard to watch. And I know that she has been battling medical conditions, like her lupus and some other things, I think. But again, prior to these recent like social media exchanges, Selena Gomez had never really given anybody a reason to not like her. Like, if you didn't like her, then like, okay, that was like whatever. But she'd never given a great mass of people a reason to not like her. And then we have what's been going on recently. And if you don't know, you can literally watch any podcast from the past. And I'm sure I briefly mentioned Selena Gomez. But lately, she's just been on social media and she had just been doing like, and I don't really want to put it like this, but she's just been making some boneheaded PR mistakes, honestly. She's been going into the comments of Instagram and she's just been running off at the mouth. She's been saying she's going on social media breaks and then not. And obviously, going on social media breaks and being in the comments, that's not against the rules. Nothing wrong with that. The problem is how the public is perceiving it. And if I'm honest, I think that she needs a PR person really bad. And if she has a PR person, she needs to fire them and get a new one. Because, first of all, I just don't think that... I think the downfall of Selena Gomez's star power is not even the things that she said in not supporting Palestine openly, not using her platform when people asked her to. It goes beyond the scope of people not liking her boyfriend. It goes beyond the scope of really anything social media related. It really comes down to how people are perceiving you. And in the eyes of the general public, if you're not a Selena Gomez fan, you're not on Selena's side right now. I think... And you can obviously tell Selena Gomez had not really been in the news or been talked about until recently when she started getting on her phone. If somebody would take that phone out of her hands, she would be perfectly fine right now. Like, moving on from the whole Taylor Swift Golden Globe thing, like, if you don't even think about that aspect of things... The only reason Selena Gomez is in hot water right now is because she can't put her phone down. And I feel like that's just, from a business standpoint, that's not great. That's really not great. Like, and she does the makeup and she has the music and the other things, and I just don't think that bodes well from a business standpoint for you to be out and again, all publicity is good publicity, I guess. But when the public opinion starts to turn on you and isn't in your favor, I think that's where you start seeing things slip from a business standpoint. And if you're analyzing it from that, it's not great. But if you're also analyzing it as just like a person, as like somebody who's kind of followed her career, you're just like, girl, not loving you. Like, and that's not good either. If people don't care about the business side of it, that's fine. But she's not eating up on the personality side of it either. Like, Selena Gomez is unwell right now. Truly, like, unwell. And then she had the whole stuff going on where she seemed like a mean girl to Hailey Bieber. And we won't even get into all that. It just doesn't look great right now. And maybe she doesn't care about that. Maybe she doesn't. But I can promise you that some of the things in the future for her they're not gonna go well because of this. Like, yeah, she has her fans and stuff, but when it comes to makeup and when it comes to public opinion and stuff like that, if you want people on your side, if you want your projects to do well, if you want whatever it is you're doing to go well, you kind of have to have people behind you, not against you. And so I think that she may see some dips in certain things, whether that's like, I don't know, dips in like music streams or dips in who's buying her makeup or whatever. I think that she just needs to get off the internet. I think that she'd be good without the internet. Anyways, I'm trying to think of some other things that I could talk about. There was actually one thing. There was one. I don't think I talked about it. Oh, I did. Actually, yeah. But I said in a different version of this podcast before I decided to keep this one, I was going to talk about Ali Krieger. And if you don't know who she is, she was a very decorated, highly decorated women's soccer player. And she's played for different clubs, like overseas, different leagues overseas. She's played in the NWSL, which is the National Women's Soccer League in America. And she has 2 World Cups under her belt, and she's worked very hard over the past few over the past few years, with her career, and she's given a lot of herself to it. And I was watching TikTok, and I ended up seeing that she was on a podcast, and I never really heard her talk about her story or anything, and I don't really know like a bunch of stuff about her, but there was a lot of stuff going around about her gossip wise over the past few months before, because she was retiring this season, and then light of her divorce started coming out, and then that was in the press, and people are speculating and doing all these things, and then her ex-wife is in a relationship with somebody else who's a public figure, and it was just like, I just wanted to see her win. I think I really wanted to see her win and go get something, and I was like, I want to see if she's able to win this championship for the NWSL. So also, if you're hearing background noise, it's my family. It's just them. They're loud. Let me actually close the door all the way. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. But yeah. Anywho, let me come back here. Oh, I don't know if you guys like my dinosaur shorts. Aren't they so cute? Let me make sure this audio is still good. Yeah, it's fine. My dog has been so annoying lately. They're just yelling at him. Anyways, but I just really wanted to see her do well, and not him howling. This is embarrassing. See, this is what I'm talking about. Finances, and y'all need to make me famous so I can get up out this house. Y'all need to make me famous. Anyways, but she ended up, I was watching a TikTok, and in the podcast, she was talking about like kind of how she, how she had this amazing career, and she ended up saying she's addicted to winning. She was like, I want to be elite. I don't want to be average. I want to go out there and I want to win, and I want to do that in a lot different aspects of my life. And I was like, that is so real, and that is honestly so motivational, because I watched her win that NWSL championship, her final year. She was going into her retirement. She was the captain of the team. And, her teammates really wanted to see her win. Like, they obviously know what's going on in her personal life. And she went out there and she handled business. Her and her team, they handled business. And she did really great. And that made me think about, like, what she said there. I don't want to be average. I want to be elite. It made me think about, like, the things that I want to do in my life. Like, obviously I've discussed, like, I want to, like, do this podcast. Like, I've discussed I want to, like, have my music, and I want to do that well. And I want to create content, and I want to do that well. And I just want to do different things in my life well. And I'm just really hoping that I'm on the right path for that. I obviously don't know what's to come for the future for me, but I'm excited about it. And I'm hoping that this year, I'm trying to live outside of fear. I'm trying to live outside of my comfort zone and get uncomfortable so that I can grow and, keep moving and keep pushing to do great things. I think last year was a very, I won't say boring year for me, but because I did big things, like I graduated college, and that had been a 4-year journey that I'm really proud of myself for doing. And honestly, like, graduating magna cum laude, like, was so not super important to me, but it was super important to me because anything that I do, like, I just want to do it well. And I think that that's why that clip resonated with me so much, was because I just want to do the things that I love to do, and I want to do them well. And I know that in order to do them well, there's like a learning curve in there. And that means that sometimes you have to do things poorly, you have to do things not so well to get to the point of doing them and being great at them. And at one point, like, school was like at the beginning, like the first year, and then like a little bit of time in between there, like, things were hard, and I didn't think that I was going to be able to graduate with, high honors. But I feel like the ability to be like resilient and to constantly push through those things are what really makes you great. Honestly, like, if you've ever been able to graduate college, that's a big thing. And I know that people like to diminish that because a lot of people do it, but there are a lot of people who don't do it too. There are a lot of people who aren't able to, like, so many things, your life is constantly changing and you're constantly going through things. So, like, to be able to go to college and while life is happening to you, because life doesn't stop for anybody, obviously. So, like, to be able to go through 4 years of life with, like, just experiencing highs and lows and still being able to focus on, like, a common goal is something that I don't think people really give themselves enough credit for. Like, yeah, do a lot of people do college? Yeah. But, like, college isn't easy in no way. Like, being able to focus on one goal and to do it well enough to get the paper, to get honors, to get high honors, like, to do that is honestly, like, that's a test of, like, perseverance for sure. Like, when your life is down, maybe somebody just broke up with you and it's like, well, girl, you still have a final tomorrow, and then you go in there and ace it. Like, girl, nothing was going to stop you from that. Like, just going out there and just trying to be great, trying to do your best every day. And I think that, like, that's not an easy thing to say, but I think that it is easy to not go into the world or into, like, your day thinking that. But for me, I really do. I try my best to make the most of, like, what I have with what I have. And a lot of times I don't have the most. I'm going to be honest. I struggle a bit sometimes, but still I'm, like, grateful to experience the things that I do. And like I said, like I've said time and time again, like, life is hard. Like, nothing about that is ever gonna not be true. But I think, like, like, when you do big things, you have to celebrate those things. And graduating for me last year was a big thing for me. And then I grew a lot personally, emotionally last year. Not all the way, but I'm just trying to look at life differently and kind of just accept the hard things for what they are, like lessons, and that are going to help me in the future. And yeah, just living life like that. But last year, outside of those things and, like, mentally trying to be stronger and not really letting things affect me as much as I do, I let things affect me a lot. Like, a lot of times I let things feel like the end of the world for me because they feel like the end of the world, and then I'm dramatic, so, like, it feels like doubly, like, 20 times the end of the world. But I don't know. Last year it was kind of a boring year for me. And this year I'm feeling really good about it already. It's only 13 days in, and I've been emotionally challenged. I've been mentally challenged, and I just feel like I'm doing a good job of putting myself out there to do uncomfortable things. And, what's uncomfortable to me might not be uncomfortable for you. What's comfortable for me might be uncomfortable for you, in however many ways you can say that. But I'm honestly just really excited for the year, and I hope that things go well for me. I have things I want to do this year. I have goals. I have a lot of intentions this year, and I just want to go and do those things and do them well. Don't want to be average, want to be elite, that kind of thing. And I think that I really need to hear that today. I really did. I don't want to do anything average. I want to do everything great. And hopefully this podcast is not average. Hopefully it's great. And hopefully in the future it can be even greater. But yeah, I don't really know if I have too much else to say. This is kind of a short episode this week, but I feel like I said some quality things here. I do want to thank the people who are listening to these episodes, because I do be rambling sometimes. I want to thank them for listening. I want to thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. I try my best to post every Saturday. The audio versions, if I'm not doing anything and I'm not busy, typically are always up by 7 a.m. The audio version is up by 7 a.m. on Saturdays, and the video comes out later in the day. But yeah, if they're not up by that Saturday, there will be an episode that weekend. I probably just haven't gotten a chance to do it, or I got distracted, or I was busy. But yeah, I really do appreciate you guys so much for listening to this episode and supporting me and doing all of the things. I know that this wasn't like a super long episode, but I'm not going to be honest. I don't really have too much more to say, and my dog is so loud. But next week I will come hopefully ready and prepared and have things to talk about, have things to share. And yeah, I do just want to thank you guys so much for listening. It means a lot to me. If you want to follow me on TikTok, on Instagram, to keep up with me throughout the week, all of those things are available in the link below, in the link tree, okay? My website's there, my Spotify's there if you want to see what I'm listening to. If you have desktop, you can see your friends' activities on there, and I will follow back because I love Spotify and I love seeing what other people are listening to. But yeah, if you want to do all of those things, everything that you need is somewhere on this YouTube channel, is somewhere on the descriptions, wherever you're listening to this on, whether it's iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever. Thank you so much for listening. Trying to build a community of people here for, I just want to have a community where I talk about my life, and, we discuss hard things in life, and we discuss big topics, big issues, and just to keep doing that. So yeah, thank you guys again so much for listening. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me. Sorry that this one's late, but I am grateful that I found that dollar on the Waffle House floor. So yeah, I'll catch you guys next week, and I hope everybody liked my hat. Isn't it so cute? Oh my gosh, I'm so proud of my team. They did lose today, but proud of them. It was a really great loss. But yeah, thank you again so much for listening. I'll see you guys next week, hopefully on Saturday, but if not, sometime in the weekend. But subscribe so you know when I post, and yeah, turn those post notifications on. Like, go follow me on my business page on Instagram to go see behind the scenes stuff, or just like random pictures I want to share. Go check out my website. I'm going to be updating that more this year as well. That's a goal I have, to keep that up to date. You can go follow me on Tumblr, on that blog. That's fun. I don't get on Tumblr that much, but I want to tighten that up. But yeah, again, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciated you guys being here. I liked and enjoyed being here this week. So maybe I'll catch you guys next week with a longer episode, but I will be back. So I hope you guys have a great week. Go do great things. Stay motivated. Get out of your comfort zone. Live outside of fear. Like, I know that it can be scary, but the motto for this year is anything can happen in a year. And I truly believe that, because the first beginning part of my year has been emotionally, mentally, all the things. It has been distressing, but I know I'm growing and I'm becoming a better person, and I'm going to be great for the people who meet me in the future. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye. This episode is late. I am a day late, but I'm not $1 short, okay? Because I actually found $1 in the, what do you call it? Oh, we went to Waffle House yesterday, and I found $1 on the floor. Now, should I have given that to the server? Maybe, but I didn't. This is take 2, okay? Really pushing forward. And instead, I'm just checking out because I actually found it. You're watching the YouTube version. I thought I'd give Bob whenever I watched the videos back, so I was like, we're gonna do no headphones this week and see how we feel about it. But yeah. I have this sticky note and it says live outside of fear, and then I have like a little drawing of a circle, and then the circle is like the fear, right? And then outside is you because you're living outside of fear. But sorry, let me put that back on the wall. They ate that. They did. But yeah, I think that that's a really tough thing that I'm navigating right now, is like, how do I feel about me? And a lot of how do I feel about me's come with, like, sometimes I feel shame or like embarrassment, or I feel guilty for feeling certain emotions. And like, one thing that's really great about having the friends that I do now, and more specifically like friends who have like kind of like a psychology background, is just that they're really good at kind of asking you questions of like, okay, well, why do you feel that way? And that seems like such a basic thing to ask yourself, but it's not for me personally, and I'm sure that it's not for everybody, but a lot of times it is like, okay, yeah, well, why do you feel like ashamed to feel like you don't like going out? Like, what's making you feel that way? Like, why do you feel that way? And a lot of the answers about why do I feel that way is because I feel like I'm supposed to feel that way about how I'm feeling. Like, that there are certain emotions that I should think of as negative, and that, but it's like a whole thing of like understanding that emotions aren't positive or negative. Like, emotions are just emotions, and sometimes the way that you deal with those emotions can be a positive or negative thing, but those emotions aren't inherently, no emotion is inherently good or bad. It's what you do with those emotions, how you use them, like whether or not you project those onto other people and stuff like that. And so I've just really been, that's been my emotional, like, uncomfortable, like, that's where the uncomfortability, I don't even know if that's a word. That's where that feeling of discomfort has been coming from when it comes to my emotions this over the past few weeks. Or over the past few weeks, I'll say that, yeah. Past few days, really, because it's only been like 2.5 weeks of the year. But I'm just like, I honestly can't believe, like, these have been the most trying days for me, and then I'm like, it's only been 13 days into the year. Like, I'm like, wow, like, and really what it's crazy is that, like, I'm like, I'm feeling all of these things and I'm feeling overwhelmed and uncomfortable, and it's only been 13 days, but this is why we have the motto, anything can happen in a year this year, because if you're feeling that uncomfortable within the first 13, like, that's good. We're growing. We're okay. We're on the right track. Keep going. Anything can happen from here. Like, if you feel this uncomfortable, imagine, or like you feel like this uncomfortable and you feel like you're growing this much. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of In Distress, a podcast where I talk about nonsense in the comfort of my childhood bedroom. First of all, if you're watching the video version, anyways, but this is like take 4 for the night. I've gotten like 11 minutes in, 8 minutes in on different points in time for these takes. Oh my God. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of In Distress, a podcast where I talk about nonsense in the comfort of my childhood bedroom. First of all, thank you so much for watching. Secondly, first order of business, this is the painting from the Pot and Paint last week. If you want to check out that episode, please go do that. We're pinching pennies out here. I ended up seeing this TikTok the other day, and this woman was in the middle of the store, and she was like, I feel like people don't do things because they're afraid of it, because they care about what other people think, which is 100% why I don't do stuff. I don't want other people, sorry, I'm taking my socks off. This is so anti. Nobody really is paying attention to like the stuff that you're doing. Like, people are gonna forget about that stuff. Like, you're thinking about it because you're doing it, but like nobody really cares what you're doing. Nobody's really paying that much attention to you as you are to yourself. So you just have to go out there and do the stuff that you want to do. And again, that is one thing that is definitely easier said than done, but I want to be doing that. I want to be uncomfortable, and I want to, like, if I can just get out of my head, I feel like I could do a lot of good things. I could do big things in my life. I could achieve the dreams that I have. I could do the things that I'm passionate about without caring what other people are thinking or constantly caring as much. And I would think everybody's life would just be easier if we didn't care about what people were thinking about us or what other people were perceiving us as and stuff like that. I just